Hello, everyone. This is Alan Wang with the Alan Wang Realty Group here in the Silicon Valley. I'm extremely excited to be here with you today. As always, it's been a while. It's been an interesting real estate market. So I haven't had a chance to update you all on our market, and let's get to it. Here's our November Silicon Valley Real Estate Year in Review. So getting right to it, it's definitely been a turbulent year to say the least. We started out 2025 just rocking and rolling, typical seller's market. Life was looking like, typical market, predictable. We knew what was going to happen, that there was going to be multiple offers, and it was shaping up to be a seller's market, a predictable seller's market. Then when April rolled around, the tariffs hit pretty much every nation around the world, and everyone froze. This was a moment of instability, and nobody likes instability. Stocks dropped 20%, and as you can imagine, most Silicon Valley buyers have their down payments tied to their NASDAQ stock portfolios, and they all froze. And so the market completely froze from April until about mid-July. And so we hit that summer lull. This is something I've been noticing with COVID. A lot of folks, as soon as the kids are out of school, they're traveling. And then you can't blame families. I mean, we haven't really traveled in a while with COVID, and then life is short. And so folks have been gone. And so there is that summer lull that kind of happened. And so as a seller, those of you that were on the market, it was a difficult time, a very, very difficult time. We had barely a handful of people coming to open houses and no one writing offers. You would do a price drop after maybe a month or two. No buyers moved, no reaction. And so because it really wasn't price, the buyers were just concerned about the market and they were not wanting to make a move, period, or they were on vacation. Fast forward to mid-July, buyers came back from holiday and they noticed some good deals. And so they went off and grabbed some of those deals and just cherry picked them that way. Come September, the Federal Reserve, under pressure and possibly with some economic indicators as well, decided to drop their interest rate by a quarter point. That got some buyers out of their seats. And then end of October, there was another rate drop, and more buyers have been calling and getting out of their seats as well. So I would say buyers are back, but slowly. I would be cautious on that, but slowly. Well, let's talk about state of the market. I did mention the two interest rate drops, so that's kind of spurred some activity. Remember, we are hitting the seasonality of the holidays. I mean, we put our last property that we're planning to put on the market last week because we're heading into Thanksgiving and Christmas. And if our sellers do not have an urgent need to sell, we try not to sell during the holidays, given that buyers eventually start checking out. The question is the market shifting? I mean, let's see. Not sure. But let's talk about the economic indicators first and foremost. Of course, is governmental policies. That's definitely driving a lot of the issues in real estate, specifically mortgage interest rates. I'll cover stock market and employment. Talking about inflation rates, again, COVID 9.1%. That was not good. Federal Reserve likes it around. I mean, we like to see it around the 2.5% range. Is ticking up. It's definitely ticking upward, and it's impossible not to, given that there are tariffs on pretty much most countries around the world currently. Prices are going to increase. And so I'm not sure the desired effect is going to happen right away, creating more jobs in the US or building factories, etc. But inflation is certainly ticking up to 3%, and we as consumers all feel it. And so this is something to monitor because with lower rates, could there be more spending that drives more the inflation rate up higher? That I don't know. That's something that we have to monitor. Mortgage rates, they're hovering in the low sixes at the moment. As you recall, earlier this year, it was hovering in the upper sixes. But if you're with the right program, with the right bank, and you have a good amount of liquidity in cash, there are asset under management programs that could bring this rate down into the fives. That depends on who you're getting your loan with. Here's a local Wells Fargo home mortgage chart. Shows that 30-year jumbo 6.125%. We even have 7 or 10 years at the low or mid 5% range. And again, if you have liquidity or investments you're willing to move over to some of these lenders, some of them are willing to bring your rate down by either quarter, half, or even 1%. So that's something that's Really, really useful if you're out there looking for real estate. The NASDAQ, I thought it would be interesting to kind of note that NASDAQ dropped 20% here during the tariff time, but it's definitely had a steep recovery here, up about 21% from the beginning of the year. I'm not even talking about the low. So we're actually up 21%, and it's dipping a little bit lately, waiting for earnings. Still 20% up from the beginning of the year. And so NASDAQ recovering has certainly helped the sentiment of most home buyers. I mean, their stocks are doing well, assuming that they're still employed. Unemployment, nationwide average is 4.3%. Again, COVID peak was 14.8%. California unemployment has been hovering around that 5.5% mark. Again, typically around the 4.5% mark, so unemployment is definitely up. Now, again, these are just assuming people that are still registered to be looking. I certainly do hear a lot of stories of folks out of work for quite a long time now, and they may not show up in these stats. Again, no red flag just yet from that. I mean, typically the target would be that one spouse is still working and we have not had frothy loans. And so one spouse should be able to carry that mortgage. And so we haven't heard any clients coming to say, hey, I have a really bad situation. Have not heard that just yet. So folks are still at least one spouse employed and able to carry the mortgage. So no red flags as of yet. But certainly concerning. I mean, these are not all Silicon Valley numbers. These are just general tech numbers, and a lot of them could be in the Valley or across the nation. But there's definitely been a lot of folks getting unemployed. And a lot of this is due to AI. AI is supplanting a lot of jobs. And because of that, because of the instability in the marketplace, companies have not really opted to hire more as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. The layoffs just kind of keep chipping away. And again, I've not seen it affect real estate just yet, but something to continue to monitor. So what are my projections? It's hard to project anything right now, given the amount of change and flux in government policy. Again, NASDAQ is pretty much recovered from that lull, so that's a positive for down payment. Unemployment is a concern. Definitely want to monitor that, as if folks are worried about their jobs, they're not going to be making big purchases, especially real estate in the Silicon Valley. AI is definitely something to monitor. A lot of money is going into AI, and so if you're in a company that is geared to provide equipment or on the edge, cutting edge of AI, that'll certainly keep you employed. But if you're not, then it's definitely a concern. I'm still keeping an eye on tariffs. I think there's a huge, obviously, effect on inflation eventually. And I believe that consumers are starting to feel the pain of that. And so that's something that we need to keep an eye on as well. Volatility. I mean, are we stabilizing? I mean, maybe. I just never know what the next policy change is going to be. We just recovered from a government shutdown, and we are still all reeling from that. I was stuck on in an airport because we didn't have enough air traffic control people who are probably not all back to work at SFO. And so we're going to be probably feeling the pain of that shutdown for a while now going forward. Inflation ticking upward, something to monitor again. We don't like inflation. And can the Federal Reserve continue to keep dropping rates if inflation starts getting out of control? I mean, that was the whole reason they started raising rates in the first place. So it's a delicate balance. As far as sellers are concerned, at least right now in Q4, I'm seeing the tale of two markets again. If you have a good school district, I'm seeing the market about warm or hot. Again, if you're a house that needs work, not a lot of buyers necessarily want to sign up for that right now. But if you're a move-in ready home, those will tend to fly off the market pretty quickly. But yet, both will do just fine. Should be sold within a month, assuming that you're not overpriced. And that doesn't matter if you're a single-family townhome or condo. If you're in a good school district, generally, it's doing pretty well, though the condos have been still recovering. If you're in a non-school or non-convenient to work location kind of deal, if you're a single-family home, the market's getting a little warmer, still cold in certain places, so it's not a slam dunk. But we're still kind of waiting for a recovery to happen, and hopefully that's in Q1 or Q2 2026. Townhome and condo market. Townhomes, I've been hearing a little bit more activity around them, and also condos, but I wouldn't call it a hot market. It just kind of depends. I mean, there's still some sectors of condos and townhomes, depending on where you're located, that are still struggling. We are seeing improved open houses, so much better than a handful of people. Folks are coming through, but sometimes we see a lot of activity, disclosures downloaded, open house traffic, but not necessarily translating to offers necessarily, especially if you're in that non-school or convenient to work type of location. So buyers slowly back, maybe would be what I would say. I wouldn't say they're back and ready to write offers and go crazy above list price. I'm not necessarily seeing that, but they're slowly calling, getting pre-approved, and poking around and looking for potential houses out there. Mortgage rates are trending lower, so that's a positive. Those that are still employed, your stocks are up. So I mean, good time to think about buying. But again, the gap between kind of the has and has nots are possibly increasing. So if you're employed, good solid job, stock options, yeah, you might be doing extremely well. For those that have lost their jobs, they could be struggling. But buyers are likely going to be cautious because of their jobs. So that's something to monitor. And again, we're heading into that holiday season. So seasonality wise, inventory is going to be lower. And so we're closing out Q4. It's likely going to be pretty quiet from an inventory perspective if you're looking. So Alan, what's your bold prediction for 2026? Honestly, I don't. I'm going to be cautious right now. It's hard for me to make any predictions. If everything holds the way it is, Q1, Q2 should be a decent market for selling, probably a little bit more balanced. Again, sellers, you only need one buyer. So let's just, multiple offers are great, but we only really need one buyer to sell your home. You could only sell it to one person. But I really don't want to make any bold predictions right now. There could be, I don't know what government policy will be changing next. And so that really, I will not be making any projections at this moment in time. But if everything stays the same, Q1, Q2, we should have a more balanced market, not like we had last summer. Again, I'm here for you. Real estate's a very hyper local and hyper family sensitive kind of transaction. So I need to learn more about your family before I can fully advise you. So give us a call. Alan Wang Realty Group here, 408-313-4352. Text me there or email me, alan@alanwangrealty.com. I am here for you and your family. Thank you so much for trusting our group, and I wish you a blessed day. All right, bye-bye now.